I have so much new makeup that we need to talk about today. I have a bunch of new stuff from Sephora and a couple of odds and ends from elsewhere. Complexion wise, I finally got a kind of new match from the brand Decipher. I don't know if y'all remember them, but I did a whole video on Decipher. They do kind of an AI skin tone matching complexion product offering, and they reached out to me, helped me adjust my shade just ever so slightly to make it a little bit lighter. And these are their drops. So they sent me the drops. They sent me 2 primers. One is blurring and then the other one is illuminating. We're gonna mix those 2 together, the illuminating and the drops, and that's gonna be my like foundation mostly today. So this is the new Lumi Matte Soft Suede Bronzer from Farah Hamidi, and I was told by a lot of y'all and my good friend Natalie that I needed to buy this. I got this in the shade Bois, and I heard that it's both a fantastic formula and a killer color. There are a couple of questionable releases that I'm gonna integrate today for demonstration purposes, but I'm kind of unsure about how they're gonna influence the overall look. One of them is the new powder product from LYS. This is the Soft Focus Skin Finishing Powder. True Enlightenment is what they call this. And the same goes for the new Healthy Glow Blush Sticks from Charlotte Tilbury. I got the shade Peachy Glow and Rosy Glow. I bought 3 of the new Makeup by Mario Master Matte's Longwear Cream eyeshadows. I got the shade Bisque, Espresso, and Chestnut. I have a lot of feelings about these. These are the new Color Fix Sticks from Danessa Myricks. I'll have to put the shade on the screen. They don't have the shade on them. Oh my God. They do put the shades on there. They just magnetize inside of there and then you can break them out into their own crayons. Stop it, Danessa. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at that. They're magnetic. Oh my God. So yeah, I got Lunar Veil and Solar Flare. That's one colorway. And then Aurora Radiance and Magic Hour. That's another one, but you can mix and match them. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled at this outcome. This is just so neat. And then something else that I didn't even expect to like enough to integrate into a video, but we're gonna be playing with the Lip Nectar from Violette. I got this in, oh dear God, the shade, help me. Rose de Moab. So yeah, we got a full face of stuff to get through today. We'll talk about them as we go, and then I will have final thoughts for you at the end. Let's go ahead and jump in. Right now, I know I'm gonna wash my face after this because I'm gonna work out. So I don't have sunscreen on, but I do have just moisturizer and some of the Glow Recipe, just regular glow drops, not the pigmented ones. Let's crack into this here complexion product. So again, Decipher, if you didn't watch that video, they're a brand that basically just go on your computer, it takes your picture, and it's like, here's your skin tone. They came so close to nailing it for me, and then when I used it, I was like, it's just like a hair too dark. And my big criticism, but it's like, I think that they should have a way for you to say, can you err on the side of a little bit lighter or a little bit deeper? Like whatever you want. Like they do that with their concealers, they should do that with everything else. I mean, there are all sorts of scenarios as to like why you might want to buy a shade that isn't your current face at this current moment, you know, and you should be able to do that. So anyway, I did a metric squirt of the primer, and it is this really pretty kind of luminous pinky shade, and then I just did like 2 drops of my drops. Did 2 drops of my drops, and really you get something akin to like a really beautiful tinted moisturizer. Like look at that, it's kind of giving like Vive Skin Nova, like that's how it feels, but it does have a little bit more luminosity than the Skin Nova does, but it's about that same consistency. Ooh, y'all, that's another one I need to do. Vive just sent me so much stuff. They let me pick out a bunch of stuff in gifting, and it was just like, you can pick this many of the things on offer, and I was like, I can pick all the eyeshadow palettes? Yes, please. And so I did, and they're awesome. I am so in love with them, so I will be sharing those in a future video. Vive is just a brand. Everything has always impressed me, even if it's not like, oh, this is exactly how I would have designed this product kind of thing, because I think that Jamie Genevieve has a little bit of a different skin type than me, or just different preferences in the way she wears her makeup. We're all different, whatever. But regardless, like I respect the crap out of her decisions. I have like a pimple trying to just come up underneath the skin right there. I love that for me. I love that for me so much. So yeah, this is very adjustable in terms of coverage. As you can see, this is very, very light right now, but I will use some of just the pure concentrate as like my concealer moment. And the main thing is, I mean, good grief, the more concentrated it gets, the more coverage we get out of it, the more you'll see how well that it nails my actual skin tone. Okay, so just straight in with some drops. That's gonna be concealer, you know? It's really nice and thin without being super oily. Like, oh, beautiful. It feels weightless. I think that it's truly just like kind of a higher coverage skin tint, but it doesn't have, I would say, as much to it in terms of being a standalone complexion product as like the Lisa Eldridge does. I mean, even if I did compare it to something like the Lisa Eldridge, I'm pretty sure they're around the same price anyway. It's not like you're gonna get a bargain on it. Look at that though. Ooh, look at that coverage. Okay, before we do any contour or anything like that, I want y'all to see what this bronzer looks like on its own. This is it. This is the Farah Hamidi. One of the main issues that I have here is that it smells like coconut, which is just like, blech. I can't with like a pina colada sunscreen kind of smell. It's just not my thing. But the shade, I will admit, is very special. And the reason I'm having like any kind of trepidation or giving it a hard time or whatever is because it's like $80. It's ridiculous. So it's a very expensive product. It's in the same, you know, price range as Westman Atelier. It does not want to come off of my finger. That's kind of funny. Like I'm trying to swatch it and that's what I'm ending up with. There's also quite a bit of sheen to it. Again, not like hugely like my favorite thing in the world, but you can see that the main appeal here is that is pretty much the color of Inner Glow from Kjaer Weis, which is a shade that people have a really tough time putting their finger on. It's just like a perfect everything color on fair skin. You're just like, wow, it's never gonna be too orange. Inner Glow also has sheen to it, so I'm not gonna complain, but they are incredibly comparable. So if you have Inner Glow and you don't necessarily like want a new one, like a new powder or something like that, you really already have the shade. I don't have Inner Glow anymore, and in fact, Kjaer Weis keeps reaching out to me, or they did for a while, where they're like, pick out anything you want, and I've just been like, thank you so much, and then I just forget. I need to just go ahead and re-up on a bunch of Kjaer Weis stuff because they do have some of the most unique colors. And so even though this color is not the only existence of this color, I will say it is an extremely rare shade, and Inner Glow is just a cream. They just call it a cream. It's like not a bronzer or what have you. And I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I would argue, this isn't really a bronzer on me, it's more of a blush. So let's go ahead and put it on. But for a lot of y'all, especially the olive undertones out there or the very fair skinned folks, even a pink undertone, things tend to go too exaggerated. This is going to be extraordinary on you. The other thing that I don't love, and I know that this is such a weird counterintuitive thing to say, but like this compact is too heavy. Like there are heavy compacts, this one is too heavy. Every time I go to pick it up, I drop it and it like scares the crap out of me. I've almost broken it twice because every time I reach for it, it like slides out of my hand and it's, I mean, it's so heavy. There is a limit to that. Do you see what I mean? It's like so rosy. I should swatch it against the Gucci as well. I know that Gucci is not this desaturated. It still has more of like a bronzy thing to it. And as you can see also, I don't know if you can see that on camera, it's a little muddy on me. It is truly for the least saturated of us out there, okay? Like it's going to be the absolute solution for some people, and for others, like if you are complected like me, like it's because I have the bit of yellow in my skin. I'm more of a warm end of neutral essentially, and I have a little more saturation to my skin just because, you know, I've been out in the sun and stuff like that. Between that and the amount of like mica that's in it, kind of, I don't know if it's mica or synthetic fluorophlogipipe, but there's something in there that's reflecting the light. As you can see that, it's giving muddy. I know that it looks okay. It looks okay, but in person it is just, it's reflecting kind of like dull and ashy on me. Yeah, so I probably could have gone for a deeper shade in this, but at the same time, if it has this much shimmer to it in any of the shades, it's still going to do that. So either way, I just want to get a nice even amount on here so that it's not something we're just covering up. It's not horrible, but like for the price, it should be incredible. And it's, again, not necessarily that it's a bad product, it's just not for me. And I think that it's something that like y'all, especially people who relate to my skin tone in particular, like need to be aware of. So yeah, right next to it is the Gucci, and you can see why, you know? You can see why the Gucci works on me even though it looks just as rosy. It works on me and the Farah Hamidi doesn't really, and it's because A, it's matte, and B, it is just this much yellower, like orange or peacher, really. That's why we play the game. This is a big, this is why we play the game video, because there are things that I had so much faith in that didn't end up working out and things that I had no faith in that blew my mind. This entire video pretty much is like makeup that changed my mind. So in that spirit, I want to go for something that's like way cooler in terms of contour. I don't want to do my Dior contour because it's going to be warmer than this and greener than this. As you can see, that would just be kind of counterintuitive. Using shadow and light with contour and bronzer and stuff like that, it's not necessarily about a certain product having a specific identity as it is that it needs to have an identity in comparison to what's next to it. So I need a cooler toned color to behave as a contour against this. And it's also something that doesn't have a ton of actual coverage to it, and so I feel pretty okay using something that has low coverage. This is the new ABH, new-ish ABH Smooth Blur Contour in Halftone. That's right in the ballpark of what we're actually going to achieve a contour with. And it's a lot less concentrated than the one from Dior. So do you see that? Do you see how that's like an actual believable contour now? If I had used the Dior one, it would have looked tanner than the Farah Hamidi. I'm just gonna zoom through this real quick. Oh my god, though, that is a really excellent combination. I'm gonna swatch these LYS powders for y'all. These are $22 a piece. When they were first released, I was excited that they were $22. I was like, that's a really great price for Sephora, except that like everything about them feels cheap. So it's like, I feel like they should be drugstore price. They should be like $10, you know? And of course, that's not really going to happen at Sephora. And also, opening this is so hard. You really only have the front of the package to get something into in order to open it. You can see I already stabbed that one with my fingernail the first time that I opened it. The triangle is cute and everything, but like sometimes it just doesn't work, you know? Like this is just, it's very frustrating. I'm gonna swatch the Farah Hamidi next to that. No, the Farah Hamidi is way rosier. They're kind of aiming for the same texture, except you can tell the Farah Hamidi, I will say, like that is an exquisite formula. It has that butteriness to it. It's very, very comparable to both the Westman Atelier bronzer and also like the bronzer from House Labs. It's got that suede feeling to it. I think that that's actually what they call it, right? Lumi Matte Soft Suede, yes. This is very much achieving that more than these. These are kind of giving like a little bit more of like cheap highlighter to me. I'm so sorry, they just are. When you experience them, you're gonna go, yeah, she was right. I'm just using the words that are there to describe what we're doing here. I could say, yes, they feel like, you know, drugstore eyeshadows or something. Like there's just something about them that doesn't feel luxurious to me at all. The only thing I think is really remarkable here is kind of the way that they've chosen to do the undertones on them. So this medium color is so green, and I find that to be pretty impressive. And then the light one is, it's very like subtly peach. It's really nice. It's not as obviously rosy as the Farah Hamidi. The issue that I really have is like when you put them on, they are both matte in terms of finish and shimmery in terms of radiance. So they've got shimmer particles in them, but they're very mattified. So it doesn't make sense as a highlighter. It doesn't make sense as a powder. I'll put a little bit of it on so that you can see, because it's gonna sound like I'm being really dramatic unless you kind of see it for yourself. I'm gonna go in with the lightest one. I tried using one of them as a bronzer. I don't recommend it. It's just really, really shimmery. And see, like even it's very skin tone colored. It's not as highlighter as I would have hoped. So yeah, do you see how it like mattified my makeup right there? Like any work I had done to like achieve, it's just, I don't want both. I wanted to kind of pick one. It's not giving enough luminosity to be luminous. It's not giving enough mattification to be a setting powder. Like I don't want to put it underneath my eyes. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I just don't think that it's really a product that needed to exist. Sorry. Again, this is a video of things that went exactly the opposite to what I thought they were going to go. Let's talk about these here Charlotte Tilbury blushes. Charlotte Tilbury. Again, things I thought were going to go at least well enough. And I just am like, huh? I guess these are maybe the closest to my expectations, just in the sense that I was expecting to be kind of underwhelmed by the shades, which I am very underwhelmed by the shades. They are just so on the nose. And Charlotte Tilbury is someone who does things well in terms of being on the nose, because she's like, hey, you know, I'm okay being mainstream, carrying the torch for the people who want just useful makeup. But The colors are so on the nose. Like there's just nothing interesting about them. This is really, like you would think, ooh, that's the same color as my lips, but it's so oversaturated. It's really not very flattering on me. And they all have a lot more shimmer in them than I thought that they were going to. I really hoped they were going to be more like the glassy blushes from Haus Labs. And in this case, I would absolutely recommend the glassy blushes from Haus Labs over these. You're going to get more interesting colors, better performance, and no shimmer. And a better price. Either way, we're gonna put some on. I'm gonna use the coral one. I tried to use this pink one when I tried this makeup look earlier altogether, and it is just insipid. I want warmth across the board as much as I can get it, and we're already kind of working against that with the bronzer. Either way, we'll just try it. We'll just try it. Plus, I think that the lip color is gonna go better with coral. God, it's so shimmery. It kind of reminds me of the new Dior stix. I mean, they have a shimmery one and a not shimmery one, but I only ended up being able to track down my shimmery one. It's so much pigment. Look how much pigment that is. It's crazy. I don't need that much pigment. Do something subtler. Do something that's like a little bit, and I don't mean subtler just because I'm fair skinned, just do something that builds more slowly. A formula that is not that exaggerated. It is a lot. And what I meant to say also, I meant to add, is like, yes, saturated, pigmented formulas are great for deep skin tones, but like deep skin tones also deserve more nuanced colors than just these super on the nose, like pink, coral, red. Like it's just, they're so unimaginative. And I feel like someone like Ami Collet is out here like making blushes that serve that purpose and are in better colors than that and are easier to use. Or even the Pat McGrath ones. I mean, you could also accuse them of being kind of boring, but at least they're not shimmery and the colors are better and the formula is more cooperative and they still work on deep skin tones. It's like a combination of a lot of things. I don't want to sound like it's really pigmented, therefore it's bad because I have fair skin. Like that's not the point. The point is like, we all deserve better than that. Look at how it kind of stamped and stuck too. Like it won't move. I don't recommend this at all. I thought that it was going to be, again, the way that Charlotte Tilbury does things. She typically finds a way to take something in the mainstream and be like, yes, but you will respect my take on this because it is a very good basic for your routine. It is a reliable product kind of thing. And if that's what you want, I would highly recommend her Matte Beauty Blush Wand. But if what you're looking for is something that is like this, you know, in this format and behaves better than this, go for the Haus Labs all day long. It's adding more shimmery muddiness. It's heavy. It's over pigmented. I don't like the feeling of like starting to put something on and panicking. And that's what these do. They make you panic. And like, that might be good for people who have deeper skin. They might be like, I'm so glad that this builds so fast, but like regardless, I want to set your expectations accordingly because now I've got serious coral face. But that's okay, because we're gonna be doing an eye look. We're gonna be doing an eye look, y'all. Like, I need to go put jewelry on afterwards. Like, it's going to be kind of evening, I think, because there's really no getting around the drama, especially when it comes to these Danessa Myricks sticks. So let's do that. All right, so yeah, in this portion of the video, we're going to be playing with the combination of the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Liquids and these beautiful metallic color fix sticks from Danessa Myricks. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the Makeup by Mario here. Okay, so here we have Bisque, Chestnut, and Espresso. Listen, y'all, we have had some serious disappointment when it comes to liquid eyeshadows recently. A lot of brands seem to think that we want things that are water soluble. And let me tell you right now, these are not water soluble, man. They are waterproof and I am pumped about it. Now, don't get super excited about like, oh my gosh, we finally got something good from Makeup by Mario. We did finally get something good from Makeup by Mario. Okay, we did. But weigh that against whether you want a liquid eyeshadow in your collection, okay? Like, they're not, by definition, the easiest things to work with all the time. Just in general, even the best one in the world is not always the easiest format for an eyeshadow. So while I love these and I am going to be talking about them in a way that's like, wow, this is kind of a revelation, especially for him, and especially honestly in the realm of liquid eyeshadows, is still very deeply consider whether what you want is a liquid eyeshadow in the first place. I can already hear the comments, people being like, yes, the reason I want a liquid eyeshadow is because they wear and everything creases on me. And in that case, yes. What I always say about formulas like this is the difficulty sometimes of applying them, like the kind of extra fuss, I should say, not the difficulty, but the extra fuss of putting them on pays you back in terms of performance. And when one doesn't, that's when I want to throw it out the window. I'm just like, why did you make it so hard to put on and there's no wear time? Like, that product shouldn't exist. This has a right to exist. I'm actually gonna, I wonder what happened if I do kind of like 2 colors at a time. I've layered them and it works beautifully. That is one issue that I've had even with like the Lisa Eldridge ones, where I was like, I want to love the mattes, but layering them, they start kind of freaking out a little bit. And with these, you can just layer them and they work really, really beautifully with your fingers. I'm gonna use a brush here, but you can just go in with your fingers and it works fantastically well. Blendy, blendy. Yeah, you get really consistent coverage. They do dry pretty fast, so you know, be careful. But you could also argue that that's one of the world's quickest eye looks right there. That was not bad. You just gotta go in with your game face on if you're gonna do something like that, but like, that was quick, that was easy. You get even coverage. It would also make a fantastic base. You know what it kind of reminds me of? A much less concentrated version of Hindesh's color fluids. The color fluids are a lot more versatile, but also, you know what else it reminds me of? I'm sitting here being so impressed, I'm so impressed. The other thing that also reminds me of Hindesh's color fluids are the About Face eye paints. The matte eye paints. They're fantastic. So I mean, I don't know how they shake out. They might be really comparable in price. And if so, then like go off, like get your colors, whatever colors you want, but like they perform really beautifully and they perform a lot like the ones from About Face. They're a little thinner than the ones from About Face, which I do like also. I feel like the ones from About Face are usually in brighter colors, which means that you don't want to see your skin through them because it would like make blue look odd kind of thing for it to be patchy. And so they are a little bit more just intense overall of a formula. These can blend more sheerly because your skin showing through them is like by design, like it makes sense. And once they dry down, they almost feel kind of rubbery to the touch. It's like, hell yeah, dude, like that's sticking around. All right, going in with Chestnut here. I love this little brush. This is the E11. I'm working just off the back of my thumb here. This is the E11 from Singe Beauty. Great shape of a brush. Isn't that beautiful? Woo! Now you want to get it out of your brush pretty quick though, because I mean, obviously you can clean your brushes, but like this stuff is not kidding around. I respect it. I respect that it's not kidding around. Okay, we're gonna come back to espresso. I want to show you all these. I was expecting eyeshadow sticks. I was expecting eyeshadow sticks. These are Laura Mercier eyeshadow sticks. Whoa. I don't know if they have like twice as much product in there or whether it's just a matter of the packaging being gargantuan, but like good God almighty, how much do we actually get in here? 3 grams. I think that they have to individually label them. So it's 3 grams here, 3 grams here, you know what I mean? 6 overall. And an eyeshadow stick is 1.64 grams. So it's twice as much product as an eyeshadow stick in one of them. So you're getting 4 times as much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I'm pretty sure they have to, if they break apart like that and they're individually labeled by their shade, then they're also individually labeled by the amount of product that's in there. Regardless, even if not, then it's twice as much. So let's go ahead and swatch these. I am so into this packaging situation. Like, does it run the risk of being a little much? Sure. Sure. Do I care? No, I think it's done immaculately well. Now, other things to know about this. First of all, gonna light up your life. Absolutely going to blow your mind the moment that you see them because Danessa Myricks is a texture queen. It's what she does. The other thing is they're cooling. They feel like cold water when you put them on your eyes. They're amazing. It's such a nice feeling. Oh, it's lovely. It's so refreshing. So that is the shade Lunar Veil. This is Solar Flare, Aurora Radiance, and then we have Magic Hour. Like Patrick Ta, eat your heart out. Are you freaking kidding me? That's how you do it. Yeah, let me show you something. Like, look how delicious that is. Like, it's just the yummiest texture. It's so soft to the touch. So we have coral, it's still pretty pink on my cheeks. I mean, honestly, when I got the two over here, the Aurora and the Magic Hour, I was like, I want to just get two because my makeup needs friends kind of thing. I don't necessarily want to go in this direction today because it's so duochrome. I was far more interested in the things that might be bedroomized colors, and I think we're going to use both of those like that. They're so nice. They're so nice. And beep. Beep. Oh, I'm so easily entertained. First, we're gonna go with Solar Flare, and it is the kind of warmer of the two that is less shimmery, more foiled. And I'm gonna go right here with that. Oh my God. In heaven, it's so pretty. It really does give. In fact, I'm just gonna go the whole lid with that, and then we'll layer a little bit of the other one on top. But like, that's right up there with a bedroomized brown. It just happens to be such an exaggerated texture. It really nails the color, but it's not exactly the texture that I would go for, if that makes sense. But like, it is such instant, gorgeous, satisfying drama. Like, it's unbelievable. And maybe, again, if we like blend it a little bit, then we do like soften that texture. I kind of see what she did here. When you use a typical eyeshadow stick, which I could not call this less of a typical eyeshadow stick, when you blend it, it dulls down. So it's almost like she built in extra metallicness into this so that when you blend it and it dulls down, it's still incredible. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna just tell you there's only one way to use this. You can put this on like, you know, as a solid thing and not blend it at all, but if you do choose to blend it, it's not going to punish you, which is fantastic. So that was Solar Flare. And then we have Lunar Veil. This is everything that those stupid Byredo sticks never could be. She said with, you know, only the softest of opinions. Yeah, do you see how well those go together? Good grief. I might just blend that with my finger. Yeah, that's so pretty. Good God. Smooth that out underneath my eyes. Like, especially when we're talking about colors that are so skin native, where we have these options that are in browns and stuff, you can just really push it on texture. Isn't that gorgeous? Woo. So I'm also going to, like I said, go in and layer a little bit of espresso on the kind of outer corners here. So I'm gonna take the Singe Beauty E04, which I love so very, very much, and touch it into espresso here. And we're just gonna kind of close off that shadow. Ooh, okay, noted. You have to be a little more aggressive to blend it when it's like layering on top of something else. It's not difficult, it's just not like as easy as if I had done them like all at once or even in rapid succession, because the Mario liquids dry down really firmly. See, I'm kind of like getting myself in trouble here. And then I will go back in with Chestnut and just blend the edges a little bit. Something a little fluffier. Really work that in. Yeah, all right. We did hit the outer limits of the Makeup by Mario. I will say that. Again, ask yourself, be honest, do I want a liquid eyeshadow? And if you do, for the performance purposes, just bear in mind that like there is a little bit of a learning curve, could frustrate you if you are a beginner, and also like, yeah, that works. Maybe just go into it with a plan, because they can really easily make a fool of you. It's a little muddy, it's a little bit muddy, but not the worst. Also, I can feel all of these drying down on the back of my hand and it's like so stiff. I'm like, that is not messing around. I'm gonna just grab a little bit of the YSL highlight, stick that on my inner corner just to finish everything out a little bit. Such a pretty highlight. There we go. A little bit of that up here, old school Beauty Guru style. Okay. I am going to put on liner and mascara and brows. And then we're gonna come back and talk about lips, and then I'll have final thoughts for y'all. Try not to be dazzled by eyeliner and mascara, y'all. It makes everything look good. I remember back in the old days when we were doing beauty YouTube, people would put on big old lashes. Not everybody does that anymore, but it's like, yeah, everything looks incredible when you put big fake lashes on. So, I mean, all of the things that I have on my face that are maybe, you know, not my favorite thing in the world, that does come together to make something very pretty, but at the same time, it is the amalgam of all of it. That does not mean that better things than some of these products don't exist already. So let's do some lips here. Now, when I say, I think I actually have a screenshot of one of my viewers who I messaged and I was like, I am literally already expecting to hate this because I always, I mean, I'm not that bitter, but like I am very used to Violette making makeup for people who have high contrast complexions, and so like her lip products and stuff like that, like even if she says they're gonna be effortless and blotted and what have you, they're still for people who wear a bold lip well in most cases, and a lot of times the colors kind of reflect that too. They tend to be a little bit more red or a little bit less grungy, you know. This somehow strikes a little bit better of a balance for me. So yeah, this is the Violette FR Lip Nectar Hydrating Lip Stain, and I got it in Rose de Moab. Now this is a stain, but it's a stain comparable to like the Cool Fee stains, which are one of my favorite products ever. So if you like those, then you will like this, I think, because it actually stains the color of the product. It doesn't like stain it red or bright pink underneath. It's very, very comfortable. It's got that kind of like cushiony liquid lip balm feeling to it. It's gonna be probably too orangey peach for people who things tend to go orange on. But it's a nice caramel color. And I like that it's not too pink. That is a heckin' wearable color for me. Way more so than I would have thought. Way more so than I would have thought. So I'm gonna leave that on there for a second and then I will wipe it off and we'll kind of look at what the stain color actually is. But suffice it to say, like, she really did something here, okay? Especially if it's like, again, so comparable to the Cool Fee ones. She did something here. Oh, that's right. I'm gonna go grab it. I have the Pat McGrath finishing spray that I have yet to use on camera because I keep not wearing powder. This is the Pat McGrath Glass 001 finishing spray. I will say, when I just glanced at myself in the mirror downstairs, a lot of times when I'm on camera, I go overboard, but it looks okay on camera, and then I'll catch myself in the mirror and I'm like, yikes. This, I saw myself in the mirror and I was like, that looks great. Like, that looks great in real life because the contrast isn't insane, especially I think it has to do with the fact that like the complexion was such a good match to begin with. Either way, I love this as a delivery system for a setting mist. It's like bug spray, it's hilarious. I will say, like, I have applied a pretty generous amount of this in the past and I don't encounter like glass, you know, like it doesn't happen incredibly quickly. I feel like it's pretty comparable with the MAC, which I like very much, you know, MAC Fix Plus, it's always gonna be my OG, but I do really like this delivery system. All right, so let's wipe the stain off. See, this is what I'm talking about. When it stains the color of the lip product itself. A lot of them, for the longest time, stained almost like a pH color adjusting pink. Okay. Let's chat final thoughts on all of these products. Now, my only trepidation, my only reservation in talking about the Decipher is just, it can be a little bit of legwork to get your color right. It's obviously head and shoulders above a lot of brands in terms of getting that perfect match for you, especially if you have very difficult to match undertones, but it might require a little bit of work with their team to get the perfect color for you. And that might be more than some people really want to do. If you're kind of someone who doesn't reach back out to customer service if something's wrong, or you kind of hold on to a product you wish you'd return or something like that, like this is just going to be another headache for you, and you just need to like know yourself from that standpoint, from a personality standpoint. I do think that what we arrived at is something that I don't have this good of a match in anything else, and I actually really respect the formulas. They're really beautiful. So yeah, it took a little bit of work with the team, but they also have like all of those guarantees built in. It's not gonna like cost you more every time you need to like try a different color in it. They're gonna work with you. The Farm Immediate, listen, I mean, I understand that what we ended up with looks really nice. It does look nice. I personally don't want this much of like a gray tone shimmer working against me. That's just a personal thing. And I think I am at the very edge of skin depth and undertone that can get away with wearing this before it starts to look ashy. And that's why she has more shades. Ha ha ha. That's why she has more shades. Therefore other people. But I also wonder if the other shades also have the same color of reflective pigment in them, because it is kind of just that mica color. And if that's the case, then, you know, you might want to just, I don't know, do not this, just because it is so expensive and I am not a fan of how it wants to go muddy on my cheeks. That's just not my favorite thing, especially like the first powder product that I put on. Like, I don't want to already be working against that. I also do not like the smell. I'm so sorry. Like, some people like coconut, some people don't. It isn't for me. All that to say, is this a bad product? No. And is it something that might be a godsend for some people? Yes. That's the beauty of beauty, right? Is that there are these products out there like this that like might not be the perfect thing for me, but y'all are really discerning viewers and listeners. I get comments all the time where people are like, yep, keep describing things in as much detail as possible, because all the reasons that something does or doesn't work for you could be all the reasons something does or doesn't work for me, kind of thing. And it's just important to have the information, not necessarily my up or down opinion. So the information here is that is the rosiest, weirdest, in-betweeniest color that I have found in a long time in a bronzer, and it is very comparable for memory, but I do very, very much remember that color. It is extremely comparable to Kierweiss Inner Glow, which it's truly like a shimmering taupe. And so if what you're looking for is like a rosy, shimmering taupe color for your bronzer, then yes, absolutely. And they are so uncommon on the market. Just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it isn't that godsend product for you with your very, very rare mother of pearl undertone. You know what I mean? This is for the mother of pearl undertones. I would skip these. I already thought they were overpriced to begin with. I think they're $42. It's just, again, like Charlotte Tilbury rides this line of like high risk and it can be high reward, like with her matte beauty blush ones. I'm like, yes, I will pay for those all day long. I think they're fantastic. These, I'm like, this is just a very average cream blush and it happens to have shimmer in it that I don't really like. I could maybe move past the shimmer if the colors worked any better than they do, but the colors are very unimaginative. If it's going to be more pigmented, I need it to spread more easily like this Dior stick does. Like, this is a very, very intensely pigmented contour stick from Dior, but it spreads and spreads and spreads. It's beautifully done. This gets stuck. Like, you start putting it on in the wrong fashion and it just decides that that's where it's gonna live now. Good luck. So for all of its attempts to be effortless, it is so much work and it's really not a lot of like reward or payoff. I think it's a very unspecial product. I won't belabor this, but yikes. I mean, I had such high hopes for this product from LYS. I love an ambiguous description of a product. Like, yes, if it has multiple purposes in my routine, I am always willing to kind of entertain that. But I think that we have gone past affordable into trying to get away with something. Okay, this feels like cheap drugstore at Sephora, and like, no. I feel like it's not even like masquerading as something that should be at Sephora. Mario did something here, okay? These are for people who are willing to put in a little bit more work and maybe a little bit more premeditation before they jump into their eye look. Honestly, not that much premeditation. What I did today was a little bit of a reach for all the formulas involved. All that to say, for the folks who are looking to wear something like this on an everyday basis and you are just so aggravated with everything creasing on you, I think that you might have found your waterproof friend here, because I mean, this goes down to like this rubbery finish. It's pretty impressive. I just feel sometimes like I am Danessa Myricks' target customer. I think we kind of all are, in the sense that Danessa's like, who doesn't love glitter? You know what I mean? Who doesn't love shiny, shimmery textures? Yeah, give them to us. And she does. And like, this is just such a beautifully executed product. It's a little over the top, like to the point of almost being nonsensical how gigantic they are, but then you realize, oh, they're a generous amount of product in actually a very portable format that just happens to be adorable in the way that they've combined them in duos, because they just put a little magnetic butt on them, and like, yeah, I love that. It's gilding the lily a little bit, but it's also useful, and the colors The colors, they're great. I really, really like the textures. I think that they're very versatile. They're really pleasant to put on because they're cooling. They're easy to work with. They give you a lot of time to play before they dry all the way down. I just think that this is one of those products that like hits all the marks in such a beautiful way. What I want out of a product at any given time, is it fun? Is it easy to use? Yes, these are fun and they're easy to use. They're really lovely to use, like more so than they need to even be. The whole situation is just so fascinating. I am her target customer. I think that this is lovely and they're a bunch of really fun shades and they stick to each other too. The West Atelier ones are magnetic and they all bully each other off your desk. Like this doesn't. I love this. And listen, I love a redemption arc. Not that Violette is bad. She's just made a lot of makeup that's not specifically for me. It's for a lot of people, okay? But I will be the first to love to congratulate her. Honestly, I'm just like, hey, you made something I freaking love, okay? And is it exactly like the Kulfi one? Yeah, it pretty much is. It's just in a different package. I kind of like the package better. But like, I was expecting very much for me to like try this, be like, yep, I knew I was gonna hate it, and then throw it in a drawer and like, no, this is coming with me to New York. Again, the thoughts on everything in this video, it's like everything with the exception of the Danessa Myricks, I will say, went pretty much diametrically in the opposite of what I expected. And that, my friends, is why we play the game. I can make assumptions all day long. That's why I've always had trouble doing anti-hauls, is because I can sit there all day as a reviewer and be like, oh, I don't need that. But it's like what I need, what my curiosity needs is to know. So that I can tell you, you know? So now I know. Now we all know. And this video is such a concentrated lesson in why we do that. I actually really enjoy the way that the makeup turned out in concert all together, even though a lot of these things, like I said, were not perfect in and of themselves, and some of them definitely not worth the money. But it's always worth the fun of trying it all on together to me. So if you found this valuable, please do give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. If you're new here or you just have not subscribed yet, please subscribe while you're here. We would love to have you. And I'll put a video up here that I think you will enjoy if you liked this one. Thank you all so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.